Today, we will dive into the recent cyber threats and underscore the critical importance of robust cybersecurity measures. Let's explore these developments, extract key takeaways, and fortify our cyber defenses. The first article I'm going to share with you today is a $150 million cyber heist from a breach in 2022 from LastPass. And you might be thinking to yourself, what is LastPass? LastPass is a cybersecurity tool that you use for password management, where you store your passwords and think they should be secure. Well, in 2022, LastPass, the prominent password manager, suffered a breach where attackers accessed encrypted password vaults. Now, recent investigations have linked this breach to a $150 million cryptocurrency theft, suggesting that cyber criminals decrypt these vaults and stole funds. If we look in this article, it's going to talk about how it links those losses to the cybersecurity incident that LastPass had. And you're saying, how on earth did that happen? Well, we talked about how they've decrypted these vaults, which means they somehow got a hold of them, and then they ran tools against these vaults, like decryptors, to gain access to them. And once they gained access to them, then they were able to do some really bad things, like steal $150 million. That's hopefully not just changed to you, because I know it's not changed to me. This is big. And so how does this happen? How can we take care of it? How can we make sure that we're not in that situation? So the thing that I would suggest is that we obviously master password strength for any vault that you're going to store sensitive information needs to be absolutely complex, unique, to prevent any unauthorized access. The next thing I would suggest is when you hear about potentially a big provider like this getting compromised and a potential breach, you should go in, run an audit of all the passwords that you have stored in LastPass or another prominent password manager that maybe you are using. We use a password manager for our customers here. We've been very blessed that it has not experienced this particular incident. However, if this incident were to occur, or maybe you are using LastPass, you should run an audit of all the passwords that you're storing in LastPass. And then go change those passwords. Go change them. It's super easy. Just go in, generate a new password, and then go change it. So the other thing too is obviously there's a reason why we have a password manager, and that's to secure these passwords. But in this particular case, I would suggest like avoiding storing critical data like your cryptocurrency seed phrases in password managers, where you might have maybe your username and password, but then there's recovery keys that you can use to circumvent having multi-factor authentication. And don't store those into the same area that you're storing passwords. So be mindful of that. Make sure that you're using a trusted password manager platform. This isn't just LastPass's first cybersecurity incident that they've had. They've had multiple. So you also have to ask yourself, should I be using a known password manager that has had security issues in the past? No. No. Don't use it if it's had known security issues in the past. Pick something else. Find another reputable tool that can help safeguard your business. The second thing I want to talk about today is Juniper. Just like we talk about, it doesn't matter what vendor it is, there's always going to be a security issue. So if it's your firewall device, you think, what is a firewall? It's the thing that's connecting you to the internet. Make sure that it is current, that it's up to date, that it's able to receive updated patches all the time, because Juniper patches a bug that let Chinese cyber spies backdoor into the routers. And here's the problem. This has enabled covert surveillance and data exfiltration since mid-2024. So hopefully you have a firewall that is current, but not only current, but receives those updates. automatically overnight. If there's a bug that they identify, they're just releasing those patches, and your firewall is getting the most current, up-to-date patch all the time. That's extremely important when it comes to securing your business. So prompt password management, super important when you have a firewall or any network device. Network monitoring. Are you monitoring the activity that's coming in and out of that? Can you tell if maybe Chinese IP addresses are trying to access your firewall? Or maybe they're already in your network. Are you monitoring, or do you have somebody monitoring all the traffic that's coming in and out of your network? You need to. That's important. And access control. Limit administrative access to reduce insider threats and unauthorized entry. Make sure that we're operating under a least privilege model where only the access is given to those who need access to it. In this particular case, it was a bug, a vulnerability bug, that they were able to, once they get access to a compromised credentials, passwords, then they were able to go in and do something. All right, moving right along today. We're talking about CISA. The Medusa ransomware hit over 300 critical infrastructure organizations. Now, the Medusa ransomware group has attacked over 300 organizations in critical infrastructure sectors, including medical, education, and manufacturing as of February of 2025. So they haven't gone away. It's getting worse. The thing you need to know about ransomware is once it gets in, it wreaks a lot of havoc. We typically see ransomware threat actors lay dormant in your systems from 90 to 120 days. So they're there and they're not creating much disruption, but you're like, what are they doing for 90 to 120 days? Well, I'll tell you what they're doing. They're taking your data and they're uploading it to the cloud, their cloud, not your cloud, out of your cloud potentially. And once it's out of your organization, they're laying dormant. And then you come in one morning and you can't access anything. And that's because they have deployed ransomware. It's encrypted all your files. It's made your software, your applications inaccessible, and it wreaks havoc across businesses. And we have to do something about it. We have to think, what can I put in place to avoid this from happening to my business? It shouldn't happen to your business. And you think, well, it's a hassle. Security is a hassle. And I'll tell you what, what's even more of a hassle is not having customers. So it might be an inconvenience that you have to do a couple extra steps maybe to perform a function. But the reason why we are in business is for our customers. And without our customers, we don't exist. And so we need to be making sure that if we're collecting personal identifiable information, that we're doing the best we can to protect that information. So this Medusa ransomware gang doesn't hit our business, encrypt all our files, and then guess what? We're out of business. So I'm going to flip it right now to another article I have here, and it's Pinehurst Radiology out of North Carolina. They're closed indefinitely due to a cyber threat. It's critical. It's real. It's a problem. Let's call them right now and see what happens when we call them. This is from February 5th of 2025. Mind I add, it's March 13th, 2025.
For calling Pinehurst Radiology. Please note, if you are having an MRI or PET scan, they are considered first imaging and are open seeing patients. Pinehurst Radiology will be closed for the foreseeable future. If you had an appointment, we strongly suggest you call your referring provider to have your appointment rescheduled. We understand the inconvenience for our patients and want you to get the best care available. Thank you for your understanding.
This is another example of a business in America that was operating and meeting the needs of its customer the day before the incident. Then the incident happens. and it's wreaked havoc over the whole business to the point where they're closed indefinitely. And we don't want this to happen to you or your business. And that is why we care a lot and why we do these cyber briefings every single week is because we want you to be informed. We want you to know what's going on in the world, the cyber reality that threat actors are after your business every day. And they are persistent. In some ways, they're more consistent than we are in what we do. And they always say consistency pays off. So if you're consistent and you're a hacker, it's gonna, and you just keep going at it and going at it and going at it. Do you think they're gonna get in eventually? Do you think they're gonna find a way to get into your business? That's what happened to Pinehurst Radiology, and we don't want that to happen to you. So please be here every Thursday, 1:30 to 1:45 to get that information you need on how to protect your business, how to stay current, how to stay relevant. We can battle these guys. We just got to put some things in place. So thanks for being here, and we'll see you next week.